It's a good day. It's a good Tuesday, wouldn't you say? So we had a Nintendo Direct today, and wouldn't you know it, our monkey man, the Donkey Kong himself, he was there. He was there in all his glory, all his fuzzy, furry, gorilla-ass glory. And you know what's funny? I've had multiple people reaching out to me after this presentation and telling me how sorry they are. I'm sorry, Al. I'm so sorry. You must be so upset. Upset? What? Look, obviously you didn't watch my stream. Spoiler alert. I was just a little excited. Oh my God! Oh! Just a little. And that's the important part, right? I'm actually in a uniquely weird position that I haven't ever experienced before, where people are actually actively trying to gaslight me. They're trying to gaslight my happiness, basically, by saying that, like, you aren't happy. I can tell you're seething over this. I'm like, nah, man, no, this is cool. This is great. This is like the best thing that could have happened. And they're like, no! I've never experienced that before, so it's kind of weird, but, you know, what can you do? I mean, I can only tell you what I can tell you. It's up to you to believe me or don't believe me, you know, whatever. Like, to me, I can understand the perspective to an extent. A port of a 15-year-old Wii game without many changes doesn't sound all that exciting on paper. But the thing is, and look, maybe it's just because my expectations are so low. My expectations are beneath the ground that something like this could get me this excited. But to me, this is a good sign. This was the best possible outcome for Donkey Kong on the Switch at this stage of the Switch's lifespan. Now, there's pros and cons to this. I will say that it is a shame that Donkey Kong's legacy on the Switch is just going to be made up of two ports of Donkey Kong's only games in the last 15 years. That's kind of a little bit of a bummer. It's slightly off-putting and disappointing that there isn't a brand new game that gets to help define the Switch era of Donkey Kong. But at the same time, guys, you gotta understand that, like, we are at the end of the Switch here. And to me, like, the Switch was fine for the first couple of years that it was here, right? You know, but the Switch is really showing its age now. Like, visually, to me, like, I look at Switch games and I'm like, my God, oh, it's like indigestion for my eyeballs. That's not fun to look at. That is gross. Get that shit out of here. Oh. And I think at this point, like, I would just prefer them save Donkey Kong. Save Donkey Kong for the next system, where we can have a more clean and polished looking game. Something that is going to, hopefully, run much better than it would on the current hardware, because games are just not keeping up. The Switch is not keeping up with the games, is what I should say, actually. They run like dookie butt ass. And I'm not here for it. So yeah, nah, man, this was it. This was good. This was a good thing that happened today. But anyway, like, look, I'm totally unscripted today, and I'm riding off the euphoria of this game being revealed. This is what I wanted, okay? Like, this is what I wanted as sort of just a stopgap, just something before the next Donkey Kong game. There's still a game coming, you guys. If you don't believe me, well, then maybe you ought to take some of my copium. Have some copium, my friends. It won't hurt you too bad. If you watched my stream, you know I was encouraging you not to take any. But here's the thing. Addiction is funny. Okay? That's... Let's just get into it. Let's just dig into this just a little bit. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Returns HD. So, from what I can tell, the visuals have been upgraded a little bit. It doesn't look a whole lot better than the Wii game, and it doesn't look as good as Tropical Freeze, but, you know, like, look, he's furry. He's got some fur, and Diddy Kong too, they're furry. So, it is a slight visual improvement, but I think the biggest win overall in getting Returns HD on Switch is that we don't have to play with motion controls anymore. The only two versions of Returns that you have the options to play are the Wii version, which has the motion controls, and the 3DS version, which it has extra levels, and that's great and all, but it's an inferior version of the game graphically, you know, and it doesn't run as well either. So this needed to happen. We get a version without motion controls, and we get all of the extra 3DS levels. But here's the thing, you know, I think that, oh my god, look at this. What? Whoa. What? We're gonna keep it. We're just gonna keep it right here. I just want you to soak it all in. Soak it all up. Observe. Bonjour. I know it's silly to be excited for something like this, but to me, it does indicate that Nintendo hasn't forgotten about Donkey Kong. They're still giving us something. This is a stopgap. It's nothing more than a stopgap. Whatever they're cooking up for Donkey Kong is being saved. It's being saved for next time. You know, they're saving it for the Switch too. The other downside, though, is that this does come out in January 2025, which I will admit is slightly disappointing because if, and I assume the Switch 2 is launching next year, if that's the case, this is probably the only Donkey Kong thing that we're getting for 2025, which means we probably aren't going to see a brand new game until 2026 at the earliest. Do you know what that means for me? That means for me that I'm going to be starting to enter my 30s by that point. If you told me that I was going to be, like, Tropical Freeze came out while I was still in high school, to put it into perspective. I'm going to be entering my 30s by the time 2026 is rolling in. So, I did not think it was gonna be that long until I get a new Donkey Kong game again. But I still see it as a good sign, you know? The Donkey Kong Park is opening this year, this fall, in Japan, at the Universal. They needed something. They would have been insane, the dumbest company on the planet, to not try to get something out for Donkey Kong before that park launches. And what's arguably more important to me personally is the fact that Donkey Kong Country, the series, turns 30 years old this year. Now, again, I mean, this game isn't launching until the beginning of 2025, so it's not exactly gonna synergize with everything, but, you know, at the same time, like, it's something. It's on the way, it'll be here eventually, and it just gives us, it reassures me at the very least that Nintendo is keeping Donkey Kong on the mind. They are giving us something to whet our appetites for something bigger and better on the next system, okay? Like, hey, look, maybe I'm huffing the copium, maybe I'm huffing it too much. Maybe it's too much copium for my system to handle, and it just like unleashed this dopamine burst into my brain that is just like way too much. Call me crazy if you will. I know it's a little ridiculous, but I'm excited. I am very excited. I think that this was a good direct. Like, not even just because of Donkey Kong. There was some other good stuff in there too. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But Donkey Kong, that's good. Look, all I can really say at the end of this is that I do think it's going to be worth the wait. I think a lot of people have approached me thinking that this is just, you know, this is just what we're getting. I don't see it that way though. I don't think Nintendo's like, here, take a fucking Donkey Kong port and fuck off, you know? No. I think this is just an appetizer, really. It's just a new Donkey Kong thing to get excited for. You know, we don't get this that often, so I would say bask in it, enjoy it right now while you can, because who knows how long it's gonna be until the next thing, and I think it's going to be worth the wait for the next thing. Nintendo is doing a lot with the DK brand right now, so, you know, something like this is just further indication to me that good things are happening. That's just what this is, you know? So no, I am not upset that this is what we're getting. Are you kidding me? Are you crazy? Did you see my stream? Donkey Kong returns. Again. And I couldn't be happier that there's gonna be a pseudo new Donkey Kong game out on store shelves again for everybody to enjoy. That's pretty cool. Returns is a great game. I'm looking forward to playing the definitive version of it, you know? This is good. This is a good thing. This is going to usher us into a whole new era of Donkey Kong. Mark my words. I don't care if you think it's copium. To me, it's not. I'm just running in circles at this point. I mean, what else can I even really say about a port of a 15-year-old Wii game? It's cool, okay? It's cool. Donkey Kong's here. That's it. I hope that my fellow Donkey Kong copers out there aren't too bummed out about this. I've seen some mixed reception, and I get it. I get it. It's probably gonna be $60. A $60 port of a Wii game. On paper, it's just not appetizing, but at the very least, I'm trying to look at the bright side here. Things are happening with Donkey Kong again, and that's good. So what else is there to say, you know? Alright, I'm just running in circles at this point. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button. Like and subscribe. That would be cool. I'm gonna be getting back to some, hopefully, more regular content in the near future. I've been working on a lot of stuff over the last month and a half that, well, yeah, I've been working on stuff. Not necessarily for this channel, but I'm getting back to it now. Thanks for watching. I love you. Of course, I gotta give a big fat shout out to my $10 patrons, BiggWeast, Memesley V3, Cryocrax, the Pumpkin Usurper, Steven Ison, and Zaveghunter. Thank you guys so much for your support. I love you. Thank you.